Good morning. Welcome to Walking Boxing. It is Sunday, April 13th, 2025, and it's a very balmy morning. You can see I'm back here, well, you probably can't see, back in t-shirt this morning. Yeah, it's very, very warm. I think when I started this morning, it was 19 degrees outside. So I think it's going to start getting a bit more chilly next week, but at the moment, we'll make the most of it. And I think I said yesterday or the day before about where I live in Mount Macedon this time of year with the tourists, and I don't think I've ever seen it this busy. If we go down the street, I might turn the camera around so you can have a look, but literally yesterday, thousands of cars and people just everywhere walking up and down Honour Avenue. If you live in the area of the Macedon Ranges, you know what I'm talking about. You've probably been there before, but geez, people and every nationality under the sun. It's just like it's, I mean, for me, it's just an avenue of really beautiful trees, and it's great, but I don't know whether it's sort of known or renowned all over the world, because I'm telling you, I reckon I've seen every different nationality walking up and down the avenue yesterday. So anyway, hey, look, as I said, it brings people to the area. Not so good for residents. So, geez, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to have a house that's really close to it. I mean, we're around the corner, but people just parking on nature strips and in front yards. And yeah, I saw one old guy not very happy because all these cars on his front yard just digging up his front lawn. So anyway, the joys of living in a, well, let's call it a tourist area, sort of. There's not much else except trees, but people walk up and down the road and in the middle of the road like it's they're in the middle of Disneyland fair dinkum. No awareness at all. Actually, before I get on the boxing, I was just saying, I was driving up the road yesterday, and I know this is not the Mount Macedon hour. This is walking boxing, but come here, man. But I was driving up the road, and these people just walking up the middle of the road without a care in the world, just walking up hand in hand, and I was behind them, and I thought, right, well, I give them the little tap to say, hey, you realise you're on a friggin' main road. Please vacate to the left so I can get past, or will I give them the big, get off the friggin' road, you idiots. But I didn't. I gave them the little tap, and they gave me a little wave, and off they got. But I thought, geez, fair dinkum. Imagine if someone was tearing up that road. It was at on the was it dusk when it's about for the sunset. Anyway, that's nearly 3 minutes of bullshit of me talking about where I live and the tourist area. Let's get into it today on this day. Now, it's a little bit of a Korean sort of Japanese theme today. Back in 1980, South Korean Chan Hee Park retained his WBC flyweight title when he defeated Mexico's Alberto Morales by unanimous decision. That was over 15 rounds. Where was that? That was in South Korea. In 1982, in Japan, the famous Korakuen Hall, I think that's how you pronounce it, Tadashi Tamori defeated Mexican Amado Urzua to defend the WBC light flyweight title. And you might guess too, with all these guys, most of them are WBC fights because they're the only ones that put up the on this day results. The other sanctioning bodies don't. So I'll see if I can dig a bit deeper, but this is the reason why most of the fights are WBC fights. 1986, Korean Jung Koo Chang defeated Mexico's German Torres on points. That was in South Korea. That was for the WBC light flyweight title as well. And then in 1997, in Thailand, Saman Chorjachurong defeated Colombian Julio Coronel by knockout in the 5th round for the WBC light flyweight title as well. So that WBC light flyweight title in play in a lot of those fights. The other thing on this day was Manny Pacquiao gained revenge on this day over Timothy Bradley in 2014 to reclaim his WBO welterweight title. Now, I was at the first Manny Pacquiao Timothy Bradley fight in Las Vegas, and I've rewatched it a couple of times, and to this day I still cannot understand how Timothy Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao. On the night of the fight, I remember I think it was the fight, yeah, where Timothy Bradley, I think, did he have 2 swollen ankles or 2 knees or something, or he had to actually attend the press conference in a wheelchair. But I thought Manny Pacquiao won 8 of the 12 rounds. I thought it was a good performance by Timothy Bradley. I thought he fought very well on the night. but just cannot get my head around that he won that fight. So, but then again, well, hang on, right on there. But then again, Matty got his revenge in this fight, and I think he beat him another time as well, or was that the last time? Actually, it might have been, what was it, 2013, so he lost to Bradley, and then Marquez came back and fought twice in 30, so it would have been 2014, so he would have beat him again after this later in 2014 or 2015, whatever it was, might have been later in 2014. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Manny Pacquiao got his revenge over Timothy Bradley anyway. I'll tell you what actually happened, but it was yesterday, and because of the time difference where the websites don't update, because we're a day ahead of the States and England and everything, the websites sort of fall in line with what our timeline is, obviously. But I missed yesterday that it was the anniversary of the death of Sugar Ray Robinson. Now, we've only just recently had George Foreman pass away, and we just hate losing our great fighters. But in 1989, Sugar Ray Robinson passed away, and he's widely regarded as the best fighter of all time, number one pound for pound. I think if you ask anyone, probably 97, 98% of people would have Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time. And I just had a little bit of a look at his history, and I sort of encourage everyone to sort of do some research on Sugar Ray Robinson, because even though, yeah, we've seen his record and we know about the 6 fights with Jake LaMotta, and we know about him, you know, beating all the great champions in history and failing to be the first one to win 4 world titles when he lost to Joey Maxim, the only light heavyweight, that was the only fight he was ever stopped. His actual career was, now he's listed as having 201 fights, but his box rec is 174 wins, 19 losses and 6 draws, which equals 199. So I'm not sure whether he had 2 no contests or something in there as well. But that's his official box rec record, is 174, 19 and 6. But one thing I did see, that he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990, but he actually had 29 fights against other inductees of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He went 21-7-1 and 8 KOs against those fighters. So 21-7-1. So these are all Hall of Fame fighters, and I'll just rattle off a few of the names there. Bobo Olsen, Fritzy Zivic, Sammy Angot, Rocky Graziano, Kid Gavilan, Henry Armstrong, Jake LaMotta, Randy Turpin, Carmen Basilio, Gene Fulmer, Joey Giardello and Joey Maxim. He fought all of those, didn't beat them all, but he fought all of those fighters. And he was born in Ailey, Georgia, back in, so what was he, 67? So it would have been 1922 that he was born. His father was, like a lot of people back then, was they were on the breadline, and his parents separated when he was young, and he had to go to work and got married at 16 years of age, if you can believe that. 16. Had his first child at 19. I think he was divorced at 20 or something like that, or maybe he was 19 when he was divorced. I don't know. Isn't it amazing? Married at 16, divorced at 19. But as I said, we all remember those wars with Jake LaMotta, and just his... and the thing is, he never wanted to be a boxer. He didn't really like boxing. He did it purely for the money, and he never made any qualms about that. He said, I want to be a dancer. He wanted to be in entertainment. He wanted to be an actor, and never happened for him, unfortunately. But isn't it amazing that we've got a fighter universally regarded as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time, and he didn't even really like boxing? Pretty crazy. I mean, there's lots of stories you could probably tell out there, and I'm sure you guys, being boxing fans, will know a lot more about him, but will know a lot about him. But yeah, if you don't, just do your research on him, because I think there's a lot of fighters that they get thrown up as, well, they were, you know, in the top fighters of all time, and we sort of take it for granted and take it as gospel. Do your own research, look at the box rec, look at the different fighters they fought, and it's amazing to delve into their records. Another one is Harry Greb. Now, I must admit, when we first did our first, was it the first ever show, or in the top 2 or 3 shows we ever did, we did an all-time greatest list, and Mike Altamura was on there, and he listed Harry Greb, I think, at number 5 or something like that. And I was like, Harry Greb, yeah, I've sort of heard of him. You know, I was more of a 70s, 80s, 90s onwards type of guy, and just sort of had a fleeting sort of interest in stuff before that. But Mike is a boxing encyclopedia, and he said, do your research on Harry Greb, and I did, and that's why now I've got him, I think, at number 5 or something on my all-time list. This guy was a great fighter. So I encourage you to do the same. But yeah, this is the day that the great Sugar Ray Robinson passed away in 1989. Actually died of Alzheimer's at the age of 67, which is tragic, isn't it? And unfortunately couldn't remember his career. Isn't that just the most, is it ironic? I don't know. The greatest fighter of all time can't remember his career. It's, yeah, they give you that disease and they put the knife in and twist it and break it off, don't they? When they don't let you or allow you, or nature or whatever's upstairs doesn't allow you to remember your career. Not good at all. But now the ratings have come out today for the WBC, and Tim Tszyu has entered at number 6. Keith Thurman has been put in at number 11. Could we see their fight for some sort of WBC eliminator? They're still talking about the July fight. I think it will happen. But yeah, now Tim Tszyu, number 6. I'm sure that he'll be ranked with the other organisations as well. Because I think before this, it might have only been, who was it? Actually, was it the WBC he was ranked with? But it was a lot higher. I can't remember, but he was only ranked with one organisation. Now, I'm assuming with that win over Joey Spencer, he'll be ranked by all 3. All 4. I'm not quite sure how Keith Thurman gets a world ranking after knocking out an unranked fighter in Brock Jarvis, but you know, hey, you got to put the pieces in place for the big fight later in the year, don't you? And have something on the line. So we'll see what happens there. But either way, I mean, does it really need a belt? Probably doesn't. I think the interest in the fight here in Australia will just be huge, and they'll get massive numbers at the venue and also on pay-per-view. Now, just speaking of the Aussie fight scene as well, I'm going to do my top 10 pound for pound in a minute, because we haven't done it for a while. And a few of these guys have had fights since then. Come here, man. Off the road. Off the road. Actually, yes, I got a funny story for you. Yesterday, when I went for, this is completely off track, by the way, and it's getting right away from what I'm talking about. But yesterday, I went for the walk and did this video. On the way out, I left my camera in my car the night before, because I took it to work to do some videos there. And I left it in my car, so I raced out with the keys in the morning, because Neil normally takes off like a rocket. So I went out there, opened my car, got the camera out, and because he's halfway down the driveway, I thought, oh, I'll just put the keys on top of my wife's car and I'll grab them on the way back. Well, little did I know that she had to take our son to work. And she went to work, and guess what was on the back of her car? My keys. That had my car key, my house key, and my work key to all our stores. So this morning I was actually trying to do the walk where I went yesterday, well, where she would have driven. No luck, unfortunately. So if you're in the area and you find some keys, they belong to me. And unfortunately, because there is literally thousands of people in the area, she would have drove past all those people. I've just got a feeling they've fallen on the road and someone's picked them up, and maybe let's hope they return them to the police station or whatever. But not a good feeling when someone's got the keys to pretty much everything that's important. So anyway, but yeah, I will do those the pound for pound in a second. A couple other things. The Shakur Stevenson William Zepeda fight is apparently very close to being signed, and there's talk that it might be a 5-by-5 between Golden Boy and Matchroom, which would be awesome, wouldn't it? The 5-by-5 concept worked really, really well, so I think they should continue on with it. And I know Eddie and Oscar, even though they've had their differences, they will, you would think, put those differences aside to make what would be a massive event. They've both got some really good fighters. A lot of them are in play, excuse me, at the moment, but some really good fights to be made. But there is talk, as I said, that Stevenson and Zepeda will headline a 5-by-5. Is one of his competitors, this is Eddie Hearn was saying that, by the way, one of Eddie's competitors and his rival in the last 5-by-5, Frank Warren, has said that he thinks that his protege, Moses Itama, could be in line to fight Alexander Usyk at the end of this year. Well, wouldn't that throw the cat amongst the pigeons. I don't know whether Joseph Parker would like that too much, because Usyk's saying he might only have a couple of fights left. Well, the first one you would think is going to be Daniel Dubois. Well, could it be Moses Altama? After that, I doubt it. I think even though as exciting as he would be in a fight with Alexander Usyk, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so let's get into the Australian pound for pound top 10. Just apologies too by a little break in proceedings there. I just had a lady come out who was infatuated with Neil, wanted to have a pat, and she looks after a lot of dogs in the area. She's like one of those people you leave your dogs with when you go away. So very, very nice lady. So she loves Neil. All right, so the top 10, we won't spend too much time on the reasons and why. I'll let you guys make your own comments and opinions on it. Let's start with number 10, and I've gone with Matteo Tapia. Now, just first of all, actually, no, I was just going to say, I haven't got someone like a Connor Wallace in there, because still I think he's an Irishman who's just based himself in Australia. So I haven't put him in here, even though he probably deserves to be in there. I haven't put him in for that reason. So make of that what you will. He's growing on me though, Connor Wallace, and hopefully he gets a shot at one of those world title belts soon. But at number 10, I've got Matteo Tapia. Now you might say, well, hang on, he sort of fits the bill, doesn't he? Wasn't he born overseas? Well, I think he was born in Mexico, but pretty much has lived here and fought out of Australia for his whole life, his whole career. Did spend some time. I think actually, does he still live? Has he moved over there for his boxing, I think? Whatever. But he has started his career and based himself here. So I've got Matteo Tapia at number 10. Make of it what you will. Number 9, I have Justice Hoodie. Really can't say enough good things about Justice Hoodie. I think he's going to be a real player in the heavyweight division going forward. And he's ranked number 1 with the WBO. So who knows what could happen as far as world title shots go in the next sort of 12 to 18 months. So keep an eye on Justice, and I think he's a supreme talent. Can box. I do think he can punch, but maybe not as hard as some of the other guys, but I think he punches hard enough. But I think he offsets that with his work rate, his volume of punches, and I think he's going to be a player in the heavyweight division. Is Justice Hoodie. Number 8, Liam Wilson. Really good, solid veteran now, I suppose you could say. Liam Wilson had that last good win over Yusuf Dib, and he'll probably no doubt get a shot at some stage. No Limit are always pretty good at manoeuvring the guys into world title shots, and I think he'll get another one this year, and hopefully he can get the job done and bring one of those belts home. Still think he needs to work on a few things. I think he still takes way too many punches and a lot more punishment than he needs to, but let's hope he gets another shot this year. So Liam Wilson at number 8. Number 7, Andrew Maloney, another veteran now. Andrew, I can't believe I'm saying veteran. Sort of seen him come up since he's been about 20 years old, but still getting the job done, still world ranked in, I think, the top sort of 10 of all 4 organisations, pretty high with some of them, so let's hope he gets another crack this year. Number 6, I've got Sam Goodman. Has been inactive for a little while now for obvious reasons, but I still think he's done enough to warrant the number 6 ranking at the moment, and he is scheduled to fight on May 14th, so let's see whether he can wrangle himself a world title shot with one of those belts if in a way decides to move up at some stage. Just keep winning. Number 5, Jason Maloney. Lost his last 2 fights now, hasn't he? But nothing to be disgraced about. They're both in Japan, both really good efforts. And I still think he's a number 5 pound for pound fighter in the world. I think with his resume and the fact he hasn't been beaten or knocked out or anything like that. I just think he's, as I said, still the number 5 best fighter we have in Australia. Number 4, Liam Paro. Coming off that really disappointing loss to Richardson Hitchens. No disgrace in that though. Hitchens is obviously a really good fighter. He's going to fight George Kambosos next. He needs to regroup though. It was a disappointing loss as far as I thought I wasn't that surprised at Hitchens' loss. I was just surprised at how probably easily he did it. I thought Liam started really well and then was really outclassed for the rest of the fight. So he's got to rebuild himself, but I've still got him at number 4. Number 3, George Kambosos. I think the last win, okay, wasn't over a world-ranked opponent or anything like that, but I thought he still looked good. He still won the fight, and I think he's still our number 3 pound-for-pound fighter. I think above all else, even with who's fought recently and who's won, who's lost, resumes, that stuff, I just think he holds up. And I just think talent-wise, George Kambosos, still number 3 for me. Number 2, Tim Zhu, no surprise there, back on the winner's track. Impressive performance over Joey Spencer. He'll fight Thurman, he'll fight, you know, if he gets past him, he'll fight for the world title next year, you would think, or one of the world titles, and let's see what he can do with another crack at the big time. So Tim Zhu at number 2, and then the obvious one, Jai Pataya, our cruiserweight wrecking ball at the moment, doing great things. Look, not the most mouth-watering contest coming up with Sequoia, but I think it's just the appetizer to the main course, which will be Zerdo later in the year. And I think everyone giving Jai a bit of stick for this fight will be more than compensated and kept happy when he does fight Zerdo in his next fight after that, hopefully. Unless Benavides decides to move up, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's got some unfinished business at 175 first. So there is the list. So number 10, Matteo Tapia. Number 9, Justice Honey. Number 8, Liam Wilson. Number 7, Andrew Maloney. Number 6, Sam Goodman. Number 5, Jason Maloney. Number 4, Liam Paro. 3, George Kambosos Jr. 2, Tim Zhu. 1, Jai Apataya. Give us your thoughts, guys. What's your top 10? Do you agree with it? Do you don't agree with it? Do you think I'm on drugs? Do you know what the hell I'm talking about? Let me know in the chat and or the comment section, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good day.